Welcome to the Franchise Podcast. With me is my partner, TQ. I'm Joe Arrigo. Now, Sean is on assignment today, so she's about doing her thing. She'll be back next week. Squeeze, we did a show last night called After Dark. We do here on FSM nightly during the week. We talked about the issue that was and the issue that remains at the forefront of sports, arguably the biggest story in sports history. That is the NBA players boycotting the games yesterday, and it looks like there's going to be no games today, with everything resuming tomorrow. Uh, they met this morning. They being the Players Association, the NBA board of coaches, and they voted to continue this season. Now, I was told in the meeting, LeBron didn't say anything. He sat there and listened, and literally right before we went on the air, LeBron tweeted this out. Quote, change doesn't happen with just talk. It happens with action and needs to happen now. For my I Promise school kids and communities across the country, it is on us to make a difference together. That's why your vote is more than a vote. Black Lives Matter, end quote. So I posed the question, on Twitter, and I talked, just in our chat privately. I wondered very publicly, now that all this happened, now that they voted to play, would LeBron stay in the bubble? You said I was crazy for thinking that. Why is that?
He's not gonna walk out on his team, man. If his team is staying, now, if the Lakers decided to leave, then that's different. But he's not gonna. There's no way he's gonna just, leave his brothers to die like that. It's just not gonna work. They are still in pursuit of a championship. It's a team. There is no I in team. Obviously, at some point, the Lakers took a vote and said that, hey, we want to stay here and keep doing this. LeBron wasn't going against the grain for that, even if he felt some kind of way himself. It's a team. He's the ultimate team player in the first place. His teammates love him. He loves his teammates. That's always pretty much been the way that it's went, outside of maybe one or two people. So overall, he's always been team oriented, and bottom line, he was going to do what the Lakers wanted to do.
Do you think that? I mean, I believe that if he would have walked out, or if the Lakers decided that we're not going to play, we're backing out. We'll take the $5 million fine. We'll take whatever punishment, or even just the players in general. It'd have been the loudest statement ever made in professional sports history. I mean, they do a great job of invoking change as it is. They do a great job of bringing things to the forefront of society. Um, Man, were we in England or something? Was
Hey man, that's
Messi's
the granddaddy.
is Messi? Do you got some Messi news for us or something?
Hey, I forgot to turn the granddaddy on. You know what? He gonna do that every 15 minutes. I'll be right back. Go ahead, talk. I'm listening. That's old granddaddy. You know what I'm
Something.
saying?
I mean,
They got Big Ben across the road. I got granddaddy in the crib. You feel me? Yeah.
yeah. But I guess it'd have been the loudest message in professional sports. And you this up yesterday. You wondered aloud because the Green Bay Packers are the biggest thing in the state of Wisconsin. They are
Hmm.
the Lakers for the NBA. I mean, but that's them for their state.
Right.
They canceled practice. They didn't go practice today. That's the first step. They're not meeting with the media. Their head coach is going to meet with the media in a short time. I think if they make a statement, the larger issue of what the NBA is bringing to the forefront, and make no mistake about it, other NFL teams are in fact also not practicing. One report had the Raiders not practicing, another had them practicing. So I'm not sure whether or not they are yet. Um, what do you think's gonna come about with everything? For
Well,
me, it's like I hope there's some change. Honestly, I hope there's some change, but there's got to be. I think it's at a point where there's got to be.
think you stuck. So I would say for us to look at this whole situation like this. I think you got stuck there. You back?
Yeah. I'm back. I'm back. Go ahead.
Okay, you want to finish what you were saying?
Well, I just think it needs to be like a gut punch. It literally is going to have to be something dramatic and drastic in order um, for people to really take a lot of the athletes seriously.
Agreed. Agreed. I think there's a way we need to look at this, and we can apply this to the nation, and we can apply this to the NBA or to professional sports. From what I've read, from what I've heard, and I think you can vouch for this, you're originally from there. There is a systematic issue in Wisconsin with police and black people, and
Yep.
it has happened over and over again. Now, we may not have heard about all of it, but we've heard of some of it, and it's been going on a long time. Um, the Packers and the Bucks are dealing with a local situation that may be a mirror of the national situation, but for them, it's in their backyard. They are the representative of professional sports in the state of Wisconsin, and they should be at the forefront of fixing what's happening locally in their community. Now, it just so happens that that community and those problems you can take and apply to most communities in the U.S., which most of those communities are represented by professional sports teams. So, allow the Wisconsin teams to take the lead on this particular situation with this murder of Mr. Blake, and what happens under that is kind of the umbrella of allowing them to be at the forefront of it, right? So if if there's going to be a team to kind of go rogue against whatever the norm of or whatever the decision is with the rest of the league, it should only be the teams from Wisconsin, the way that I see it in this particular situation. If it's going to be anybody, if not, then it's absolutely about taking time, figuring out the best way to go about the situation as more information breaks, as you figure out who your allies and enemies are on both sides of the coin. And I believe that the NBA does such a great job of damage control and planning in these type of situations. I'm not worried about it. I'm not worried about it either way.
They did a great job of damage control yesterday because I was talking I said it last night. I was on the phone and texting with some people that are with the NBA and with the Lakers in particular, and they
Cut out again for me.
they literally sorry about that, but they were pissed at the Lakers for or not the Lakers, the Bucks for what they did, and that they were really scared of what the Lakers when the Lakers came out and said right afterwards. I mean, they said it privately that they're not going to play either, and then the trickle down effect, and the NBA was caught with their pants down, and they were upset because they wanted to do some type of damage control. They wanted to have some type of control to say like they did. We're going to postpone the games in the wake of the civil unrest and the injustice.
Right.
It's like you're saving face instead of just saying, giving the players and the organizations credit for what they did. But the NBA, I think they should have done. They tried to make it look like it was their idea, and to me, that was a problem. Personally, I agree. I think if there's any team in any state that can get away with just saying, "Forget it, we're not going to do this today," it's the Packers in Wisconsin. Like they're the one team in any state, even with the Lakers. We still have the Dodgers, and we still have some other
Yeah, other
distractions.
news. I get it.
Yeah, but in Wisconsin, it's literally right now people are people are upset that they missed practice. In fact, um, one of the rookie, I have a quote from one of the rookies, Tipa Galalai, Tipa.
Yo, listen, you got the gremlins in your Wi-Fi today, homeboy.
I lie. So I'm sorry about the internet. My bad. I apologize.
Your shit is
No, it's just
trash.
I know it just
Trash
keeps coming
today,
up. My
buddy.
bad. My bad. It's all the kids in school pulling off it.
Yeah,
But
it's been terrible, man. It's been terrible last couple of days, for real.
um, but the rookie said there was a team meeting that was so powerful. Brilliant ideas brought forward to spark a change and bring justice to our communities. We are fighting the greatest fight ever known to man, and this fight is obviously nowhere close to being done. So that leads me to think that the Green Bay Packers, led by Aaron Rodgers, and Long Beach Poly's Mercedes Lewis, I think they really have something in store to kind of change the game a little bit. And I think there is going to be some type of protest or show of solidarity with with people who have been disenfranchised.
I hope so. I hope so. It's like I was saying on the show last night, man. I think that the fans who really care about the players, you know what I'm saying? The players entertain us. We can we can relate to so many of them. We're able to see so many of their lives. I think we have to take into context the psychological part of all of this, right? There's no way to really make a quick brash decision on anything when it's so emotional. Most of these guys are black. Most of these guys have been in the situation that they've seen George Floyd or they've seen Mr. Blake or any of the people. They've been in these situations. How many times as a professional athlete have you gone to jog around your neighborhood, right? Like
Right.
like Mr. Aubrey. How many times I'm looking at myself when I saw George Floyd. What really hit home about it is how many times I had been in that actual position, the actual same position, and I know how hard it is to breathe in that position, and they know what they're doing. It's like they're taught to do that to you. So then that's the first dynamic. Then you're a parent. Most of these guys are parents, relatively new parents. They got young children, young black boys. And like it plays a psychological part that a person that's not in the situation or has never been in the situation, they're never gonna understand. And when you try to explain, when you attempt to explain, it's like, why do I even have to explain? But when you attempt to explain and the type of replies and answers to, or what you get from your explanation is so ridiculous. It's like you think it's got to be something sinister here. You have to be able to understand when I'm telling you the people who protect and serve you are going to treat me different. They have
Okay.
always treated me different, and they will always treat me different unless you help me change something. That's really the way this goes. It's really the way this goes. So if I'm LeBron James and I'm thinking about all of the links that I have to people who have links to legislators, that's the question I'm asking myself. I can make a difference in this
Yeah.
situation because I have the power, I have the links to make a difference. Should I be playing basketball right now? Or should I be hobnobbing and rubbing elbows with the absolutely powerful people that I have behind closed doors who donate to certain campaigns?
Yep.
I'm LeBron James. I can get some of these people to not donate to certain campaigns unless certain things are met. Why? Because I make them a ton of money. And I think what people don't understand is that athletes haven't been in this situation before like this. Can you imagine if Jim Brown and Muhammad Ali and all of them back then had the type of power that a LeBron James has right now? Can you imagine? So you have to look at the planning stages. And I think right now that's what the NBA players are in. They're figuring out how to best do this. It's going to go back and forth in their heads because of the emotional aspect and the actual power that they have that the media doesn't understand. We don't understand. Hey, even owners on their own team. You can't control an NBA
Man,
player.
what I find interesting about that is you got Jerry Jones, who's vocal about anything and everything, and he ain't said a word until recently, where he's like, "We got to find a compromise about we got to find a compromise to try to figure out the national anthem thing." Like, I find it funny that Roger Goodell came out just the other day and was like, "Oh, it was never about the flag and being disrespectful." Fool, we've been saying that. We've been
Man,
saying
listen.
that for how, and it's like it to me, and what I love about the NBA is the empowerment that Adam Silver has given the players. I love the fact that he's allowed them to speak their minds freely and voice their opinions. And even owners like Mark Cuban and Jeannie Buss, like, they came out in support of.
Check this out. You got your internet from Dollar Tree. Take it back. Get it fixed.
The Bro, I am so frustrated with this. Like, no, and it's like this is why I won't do a show during the day anymore right now, because all these damn kids going back to school, pulling all the internet for the community, and you can't do anything about it.
Hey man, it's not just the schools, bro. Like Google is working at home and Apple is working at home and all the Facebook people working at home. All these people that used to be on these big, huge like business servers,
Yeah,
like they all in the neighborhood right now. So it's just a train wreck. But if mine's
yeah.
ain't messing up and yours is, I'm gonna clown you for it. You already know this.
Oh, all day. Hey,
Go ahead.
real quick. Chris Haynes just reported. Chris Haynes, good friend of the franchise, said there's a change of position from last night with LeBron James, among others, relaying it was in their best interest to finish out the season. So I think LeBron, like we kind of talked about last night, I think someone got in LeBron's ear and was like, "Hey, we can use this platform for the way that we want it used for, which we can evoke more change, because all eyes will be on us going forward." Um, and I like
Yep.
that.
And I think that it's about because there's always so much information and misinformation. It's just not about rushing to decisions. It's about taking time, hearing everything, thinking about everything. And when you're a person like him and a lot of these guys, when you can assemble a team as talented as the type of people around him, right? Then you need to take the time to listen. That's why I keep saying it's like I feel like I'm seeing a better example of leadership in the NBA than I'm seeing basically anywhere. It's like it's even when a crisis pops up, something as big as walking off on a playoff game, they figure out a way to do it right. And that goes from the Players Association to the players themselves, all the way up to the top.
Well, that's what I find interesting now. Like, the NHL continued with their games yesterday, and today there's talks with their PA, and everybody else that's involved with ownerships, whether or not they want to continue the games.
Yeah.
And the Barry Trott, who is the head coach of the Islanders, he was the Capitals head coach when they beat the Golden Knights for the Stanley Cup championship. He thinks the players should play because he said you can use this platform as a way to get your opinion out and invoke some type of change. I find it interesting because the Golden Knights play tonight. They're scheduled to play tonight in a bounce back game against the Vancouver Canucks.
Yeah.
And right now, the Golden Knights are the biggest thing in Vegas. No disrespect to the Raiders, they're in the playoffs, and they're the best team in the NHL right now. So this would be a big deal for everybody in the city.
It would. Um, you cut out again. At the same time, for whatever reason, man, I don't. I'm not gonna
But
blame the NHL if they go ahead. You cut out for a while. Go
no,
ahead.
no, no, go
Yeah.
ahead.
If
That was just my point.
for whatever reason, I don't feel a way about the NHL if they decide to keep going. I just don't.
Is it because they're mostly
It's
white?
maybe that's what it is. I don't think that okay. I notice some black people feel like a white person that's not active in this movement is some kind of way whatever. I don't feel like that. If you want to stay out of it, then you just stay. You have a right to stay out of it. That doesn't make you a racist. That don't make you a bad person. To me, that's my opinion. The next person can feel how they want to feel. So I don't think that it's a situation that affects the majority of their players. A lot of their players are from other places. It'd be cool for them to take a stand maybe during the game or have something to say, but I don't think it's so much about stopping their league or stopping their playoffs. Like this situation, the majority of the NBA, the NFL, they're on the front lines of it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Major League Baseball, you have teams. So there are players involved on the team that have dealt with this situation, and this situation is playing psychologically to them on them because they've seen it 100 times and they're tired of it. And they got a locker room full of brothers. So hey, if it's one black player on this team or two black players on this team and they feel a certain way about this, man, we a team. Damn it, we ain't gonna play.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily. The only time I would have a problem with that is if there was a contingent of black players on the team who didn't want to play and there wasn't solidarity. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens with the NHL. There is also a side of me that says that, and I'm not gonna sit up here and act like I'm not a fan. I'm a fan of sports. I mean, we have a sports company. We want sports to be going on.
Yeah.
Sports, for the time that it was happening every single day, it absolutely played into my own psyche, my own, it gave me a good day
Felt normal.
at a time when it's not easy to have a good day. So, and then the fact that it just so happens, like, look at the teams we cover.
Yeah.
Everybody's like contending or exciting, you know what I'm saying? So
or about to break out.
Right, exactly. So it's a golden time for us doing sports in Las Vegas, and we keep having these hiccups to where it stops and it stops and it stops. But the reasons behind it, man, it's not important. It's important for our psyche, but when it really comes down to it, it needs to be used to create the change that the majority of the people on Earth really want to see.
Well,
and the way that all of this goes, man, it's about the majority. I don't care how loud the minority is.
Right.
It doesn't matter if you're a minority and you're louder than everybody else. It's about what the majority of the people see their need is, and it's also about them, once they get their need, helping out the majority, bending a little bit. That's life. That's how life has got to be.
Well, I think it's funny that you say that because you're talking about the majority and the minority. And Jared Kushner, who's Donald Trump's son-in-law, who's a part of his cabinet doing something. There's actually a good documentary about how his family hustled and kept their billions of dollars on Netflix. But he came out with a quote today. I think he was on MSNBC or one of those channels. I seen it, came across my Twitter feed, and I found it interesting. They asked him about what his thoughts about the NBA and whatnot, and he said, quote, I'd love to see that. I'd love to see from the players in the NBA, again, they have the luxury of taking a night off from work. Most Americans don't.
You cut again. So you're going to have to read this part again because it's very
I'd like
important.
to see the
Go
I'll
ahead,
continue.
read
He
again.
said, I'd like to see them start moving. I'd like to see them start moving into concrete solutions that are productive. Basically taking a shot at LeBron, saying all they're doing is talk. And he literally said all they're doing is talking, that there's no action behind what their words. Like, how mindless is that?
Man, you can't, like, I don't know. I have a way of dealing with all of this. I'm in the history. Government was my subject back in school. I used to, I get a kick out of all of it. But like, when it's 2 months left to the election. Like, don't listen to don't listen to that guy. Like,
I don't listen to any. I don't.
it's certain.
Yeah,
Some of these people, man, they're like it's a show right now.
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
it's a cluster. You feel what I'm saying? So you only you only need to listen to certain things. At the end of the day, I feel like the majority of the people in this country understand why teams are canceling games right now. The
Yeah.
majority of people in this country do not want to see a policeman, let alone a person, not a policeman, shoot a man 7 times in the back. Period. The man has no gun. The man hasn't killed anybody. The majority of Americans do not want to see a policeman grab a man by the shirt, extend his other arm with a gun, and put 7 bullets into his back. It doesn't matter what happened before he put the 7 bullets into his back. The majority of Americans don't want to see that. These people who get online and say this or that, well, he should have complied, or he should have did this, he should have did that. Man, they're about this big. It's about that many of them. They speak loudly because they feel as if their ideals over the last 8 to 12 years have been forgotten. And it's all about Los Angeles and New York and this whole far radical left thing that none of us have ever experienced. I'm yet to find who these people are. Anyway,
Yeah.
but I keep hearing about them, and the bottom line is, it's gonna take talking. It's gonna take conversation. The NBA right now is having conversation. Sports is having conversation. Government is gonna have to have conversation so that citizens can have conversation.
It's funny you say that because
You stuck. Looking like you averaging every like 4
learned
minutes.
that I've learned that my internet sucks, and
Yeah.
I've also learned that the Packers in their meeting today they have a leadership council.
Yeah.
They met with Matt LaFleur, and this afternoon, as a team, they're going to watch Ava's documentary, 13th, as a
Wow.
group,
That's a
and
good
they're
one.
yeah. So again, for me, look, we got 2 months of rhetoric, and we have 2.5 months of rhetoric, really, and I think right now we have to stay locked into what we can and educate ourselves as much as possible and continue to fight good fights. Also, I found interesting Willie Ramirez from Willie's AP, but the Associated Press. The Golden Knights were scheduled to talk in 9:45. They've yet to, with the media, they haven't shown up yet.
Oh wow.
So that I think that's telling right there. We'll see whether or not that actually, if the game actually takes place.
Wow.
Yeah, it's almost
It's more like every minute and a half for your internet to fart live.
half hour in. Bro, it's so frustrating. Like, I'm so frustrated, and but the show must go on. Like,
Yeah,
honestly,
it is what
that's
it is.
you know.
It is what it
Um,
is.
Now, some NFL teams actually did take the field today, and the Raiders were one of them. Vinny Bonsignore of the Review Journal, Vinny just tweeted out that players they're still having dialect with each other and the organization about what they want to do to support Mr. Blake and others that have been having to deal
Murder.
with. Well, I wasn't going to go the murder route. I was going to say not even just the murder, people being murdered, but being disenfranchised and falsely accused and put in jail and murdered. So they're still in talks with what they want to do with that. So, but the Raiders are practicing today. So, take that for what it's worth.
Yeah.
Do you have any feelings about that? I mean, the Raiders have always been on the strong side of social injustice, and it has always been at the forefront of change. And are you disappointed at all that they are practicing today when others aren't in the
No,
wake of
man.
everything?
We talking about practice. Come on, practice.
Uh,
Come on, bro. No, I'm not. I don't have a problem. I don't have a problem with them practicing. It's like you said. The Raiders is action with them. They've always shown where they stand on this subject from a long time ago. So we'll get something, you know, top of the letter and top of class from them at some point about this situation. So I'm not, I'm do them. They need to get better. So stay on the field and practice. They're not in season. You know what I'm saying? It'd be different if they was in season and they like the only show in town is still playing. Then that would look bad. And if they were in season, I don't believe it'd be no practicing or nothing. But what point do they prove by not practicing today? I don't think it. They all have social media. They all can talk about the situation. So many of them are black. They've all been through the situation. It's nothing new. I
yeah,
think that what makes an impact is these teams that are in season right now saying we're gonna stop games. When we stop games, that sets off a whole chain of events because it's a whole big bag of money at the end of a game. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
There's a lot of money exchanging hands. Ain't no money exchanging hands about practice. I mean, we talking about practice. So just go ahead and practice. Practice. During practice, you're together. You can do what is most important to be done right now, which is have a conversation about what to do next. And I guarantee the Raiders doing that.
Well, I can tell you what I've learned at practices. Javen White has been balling out. Like, I'm pretty sure
Did
he's
you
a lot
think
to.
it was gonna be
Oh
some other
no,
kind of way?
hell no!
Come on,
I
man.
knew when I.
Your internet is doo doo.
Whoever I know whoever got Jay
Yeah.
was gonna get a guy that he was gonna make a team. Um,
Yeah, absolutely.
he's
Absolutely.
just Jay is just a baller, bro.
Yeah, he don't his motor. He got a high motor. He's always around the ball. He's gonna find the ball. That's the guy you find. He's gonna always keep a job. He's always gonna have heavy minutes, and he's always gonna be impactful. That's a long career. If there's no injury, that's a long career playing multiple positions and being a piece of glue. And
I'm not even.
I hope he stays here. I hope he's here the whole while. Cause like it's one thing when some players that I've been able to observe up close. You know
Yeah,
what I'm saying? Like when they was young, and you can see what they're gonna be, right? And when you see them from the sideline, it just has a different effect. And he's one of them. Like the dude got that it. He got that it in the huddle. He got that it in the locker room. Teammates gravitated to him at UNLV because he set the stage.
yep.
He set the stage for that whole defense. And I mean, it wasn't like it was the greatest defense in the world. So he stuck out like a sore thumb. Knew somebody was gonna pick him up, man. I knew it. Knew it. So glad it was the Raiders. That's your internet going down in the toilet.
Bro, internet it already's down. It was in the sewer. I'm like getting bits and pieces. Like here.
Oh yeah, it's just
It's like
crazy.
it's like my internet is I'm on a date with my internet and um she's like
Your breath
she's
stink.
no, she hot. She's hot. She's hot and she's like, yeah, come here, baby. Oh no, 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 no. Come here, give mommy a kiss. Oh no, 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 no. Come on, baby. Oh, so the Golden Knights media has been So I'm gonna read it straight from Willie. From Willie Ramirez, the VGK media availability at 9:45 never took place. Just got the announcement that the team will skate at 12:15. And media is to check with the NHL media site for availability. That's interesting. If you're gonna rely on the actual NHL site,
Might be some conversation going on.
I think there is.
That's what it sounds like to me.
I
Once again, that's what needs to happen. That's what needs to happen with everybody. Conversation first, action second.
I think it's interesting that
I think it's interesting that you freeze every 15 seconds. That's pretty interesting, my brother.
Major League. I know, me too.
Go ahead.
I think it's interesting that Major League Baseball didn't play. Certain teams didn't play yesterday, including the Brewers. And Seattle has the largest African American roster in the major leagues. And
yeah, you said that yesterday. I did not know that.
Yeah, well, I have useless knowledge sometimes, or all the time, But I think if baseball were to shut down, that's really going to catch everybody's eye because that's the American pastime, buddy.
Yeah, and it plays to a different demographic than the other sports in a lot of ways. So, once again, man, whatever decision is made by these leagues, by these teams, by these players, I just want it to be made after a lot of thought and a lot of conversation. Because especially like if you got a group of black men right now, I keep going back to this. You have to understand the psychological part of what it is to constantly see people that look like you getting killed, getting hurt. Like it's just, and then to be in the middle of a pandemic that is, it's just a perfect storm of just BS, right? We go into a thing where everything shuts down except for essential workers. Who are essential workers? POC overwhelmingly is black people, Latinos, Asians, right? So then COVID takes us out in a terrible ratio compared to everybody else. It's just a perfect storm for just a lot of just drama going on in your head. You know what I'm saying? Like I wake up every day and I have to meditate to just get it started, like literally. So yeah, like thankfully I've found a way over the years to have my brain in check. You know what I'm saying? But everybody doesn't, and I think that is the part of this because the other side of it is so like just has no empathy whatsoever. It's like soon as you see this man getting shot, you have no care about him. It's all about, well, what did he do? What did he do? What did he do? Even if he did whatever he did, like, do you care at all that a man has been killed that didn't have a weapon? Like, do you stop for a second and say, oh my God, that is sad. That could have been somebody I know. That was a human being, maybe somebody's father, somebody's son, whatever. Like, and that lack of empathy, I think that plays on the psychological side even more. Like, you don't want to believe that every white person hates you. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to believe that. But this over and over again, and with the crazy ones being so loud on social media and on their platforms or whatever, that starts to play on you psychologically. So once again, I just hope people take that part into account when they have these conversations.
But the other thing too is like, we talked about it last night. You have a 17-year-old kid with an AR-15. First of all, he shouldn't have the gun to begin with. Secondly, he walks right. On camera, he shoots these people. Walks up to the police and is like, "Hey!" And he's got the gun strapped to him. "Hey, hey, hey!" And it's nothing. It's literally like, cool. Like, come on over here, buddy. Let him go home to another state 15 miles away or whatever, how far away it was. And then go arrest him and give him water. Like like now, and I pose this. I pose two questions, and I want you guys to tweet at me and let me know at Joe Arrigo. One, do you believe if the shooter was any other skin color, would he have been treated the same?
Tell them again. They can't hear it. Use your janky ass internet.
And two, that's dramatic pause right there. And two, I'm all for the Second Amendment and having guns, but tell me why a civilian needs to have an automatic AR-15, AK-47, or anything like that. Tell me why someone that's not in law enforcement or in the military should have that weapon. I'm all for having guns.
Because that weapon is available to people who are. That's why they can have them. That's part of being American. Protect yourself at all costs, period. If I haven't done anything, I'm on my property. Anybody that comes on my property may have an AR-15 at me. If I got a little pop shooter, then hey, I'm in trouble. That includes the police or anybody else. Like, if I'm asleep in my house and the cops bust down the door and I haven't done anything, I'm shooting. I'm shooting to kill. I don't care who it is. So I need what I got. That's American. The point of this is, I don't think it's necessarily about what kind of gun is available. It's about taking more action on how those guns are made available. That's the point. It shouldn't be easy to obtain one of those. And if you obtain one of those in an illegal way, the punishment for it should be so severe that it would detract people from, getting a hold of that type of gun. That's the way you clean it up. Because there's a section of this country, and I'm sorry, but like, I'm one of them too. I believe in my right to bear arms.
I do
got
too.
A house full of arms. So it's like, and I believe that since I was a little kid, and maybe that was based on the way I grew up or whatever, but I read the Constitution and I saw pretty early that I can be strapped. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna be strapped. And at this point, I really encourage, especially POC, like, be strapped. And you really need to understand how hard it is to like get a gun right now and get ammunition right now. And that's because there are some people that have been buying a lot of it.
For those that don't know, POC is people of color.
Oh, yeah, my bad.
Yeah, you guys see, we're helping educate right now, Squeeze.
Beautiful.
That's why that's part of the internet. It's all.
Hey, gotta have a conversation. Need to educate your ass some new Wi-Fi. Quick. Cause your shit is bad, homie.
Effed up.
Yeah, it's terrible. It's terrible.
Bro, it's so bad. Bro, I was right on cue though. Last night after we did the show, I had some work to do, but I didn't sleep really at all. I didn't sleep well at all with everything that's going on. It's been heavy on my heart and in my mind, amongst other things. And I could say for the first time in a long time, I didn't even think about whether or not the NBA playing as even, like, I didn't care, honestly. Because there's way other issues that's happening in our society. And even this morning when we were going, we're kind of, we talked about the show a little bit through our messaging system and whatnot. It really, it's always good to talk sports with you, but it was still like, I know it's not going to be sports because we really don't have any sports to talk about. Like right now,
We don't have good internet to talk about either from your place, buddy. And
You really
especially when you
don't.
get stuck on them janky faces like that, that's funny.
What? What happened?
When you get stuck on them janky faces like that,
Oh, it's
that's
funny.
funny.
I'll go back and watch it, see what they look like. But
Yeah.
but I think that it's for me, it's just kind of it's the first time that I've ever felt that way. Like really, I don't care, and I don't want to feel that way anymore. I don't like it because I love sports. I love competition. I love watching the best athletes compete against each other at on the biggest stage. Um, but it's hard to get up for something like that, and I can't imagine what they go through, being those guys, and they in a bubble or wherever they're at, have feeling the way I feel. If not. So I know we don't talk a lot of soccer. Okay, so what's this Messi deal, man? $100 million, or a coach is gonna leave? Like break this down.
How about an owner leaving? How about the owner say he'll step down if Messi stays?
The owner of Barca or whatever.
Barcelona. Yeah, it's like,
wow, that's
I'll step down if you just don't leave. Literally. It's crazy, man. Listen, all right. Like Messi is considered by a lot of people to be the GOAT. And a GOAT that may be a bit diminished from a couple of years ago is still he's still one of the best players in the world.
right.
Barcelona has been one of the standards of European football for the whole 20 years that I've been watching it, right? And he himself has been one of the reasons. For Messi to leave there would be like Magic Johnson going to sign for another team. Like after he'd won that 5th championship, the next year he just goes and signs for another team. And it just so happened that Messi's heyday, the best that he played and the most success that he'd had was under this coach Pep Guardiola, who's the coach of Manchester City right now. So Messi's trying to get away from Barcelona and go and play with Pep again, which is a problem for me, being that I'm a Manchester United fan. And to explain it to Americans, United is the Lakers, City is the Clippers. So City has just come up last couple of years. They got an influx of money with new ownership, a bunch of great players, and now they've been winning championships. So in that way, they are not like the Clippers. But the relationship between them and the team in the city, it's a huge rivalry. So I mean, that's some earth-shaking news if he actually does it. Like, because the majority of people who watch soccer, European football, Messi's name is just synonymous with that Barcelona jersey.
Yeah. So I'm gonna say I know Zlatan has a clause in his deal to get out too. So I'm gonna say this: hey, Zlatan, come on, get some glory in your life.
He did it. He ain't coming back. He's done it already.
Come back and play.
Manchester United is just trying to turn into they just want it young again. They trying to be what they used to be. So I don't even so right now they're in what's called a transfer window, when it's
trade
times
deadline
a year when they can trade and everything. And United has made no moves whatsoever. And that goes to show how they feeling about the future. So
they had one guy they wanted. What's the one dude they wanted? But then
Sancho. So it still may happen. It may happen, but I don't know. But it's about youth for them. Don't expect them to be in the sweepstakes for no big name older people. And another thing, in Messi's clause, if he was to go to Manchester City, after 3 years, he would automatically go to New York City in the MLS, which is sister team for Manchester City. So heavy news, man. It's fluid. I know they looking at us like, what the hell y'all talking about this for?
No, because if you guys don't know, well, obviously some people may not know Squeeze like I do. This is a passion for him. Like he's just as passionate about this as he is the Lakers or the Dodgers or USC
Yeah, man, I did a lot of
Auburn.
traveling like that. Yeah, the early part of my career, I did a lot of traveling. Spent more time out of the country than I did in, and it was no American sports to watch. Like you could literally catch some highlights at like 4 o'clock in the morning, and they give you like one team for whatever. So,
Yeah, for
so
real.
I had to, I love sports. I had to get into something, and it was just I don't know, man. It was just Manchester United, Manchester United, Manchester United. That was the team that I linked up with. That was like 1998. And
Yeah.
I've been supporting them ever since. They've won a hell of a lot of championships. It's just, man, I got good teams, man. I got good teams, man. Lakers,
Well,
man.
this just came
Dodgers.
down. This just came down 5 minutes ago. The Hockey Diversity Alliance requests that Thursday's games be canceled. Should note that HDA board member Nassim Kadari played last night for the Avalanche, but said, quote, the anti-racism signs are great, but eventually words get stale. A lot of action in making.
Always happen when you saying something important. Do y'all notice that when he talking some bullshit, his
Different.
his internet never goes out, but when he's
So
talking about something important, the net goes out.
I know it does.
What's up with this?
They don't like that. I don't know. It's hey, third eye.
Read the end of it.
Third eye. Third eye.
Read the end of that statement again.
He said signs are great, but it's words are getting stale. It's time to make a difference. Which I agree.
Yeah, I mean, I guess the selfish fanboy side of me just wanted to like
don't say that.
Get that taste out of my mouth from the other.
Call yourself a fanboy. Don't call yourself fanboy. Tony Dasco.
Oh, Dash might be watching, huh? Oh, he don't like that, dude. Oh, he don't like that, bro.
Hey, tomorrow's Fanboy Friday, baby.
That man detests the word, don't
he? Hey, Dasco's one of the coolest older cats in the world, bro. Like,
yeah, for real.
He tripped me out because one day at UNLV practice when I first met him, he was like, "Hey," he was singing the Beat Nuts, and I was like,
"Damn,
like you singing the Beat Nuts, Tony?"
Wow.
He was like, "Oh yeah." Then he came.
There he goes, ladies and gentlemen. Walmart Wi-Fi.
Came back and but he came back and was like he started singing Wiz Khalifa, and I was like, Tony,
oh wow,
yeah, he was Tony. Tony's
that guy for a reason.
Yeah, his hip hop game is tight, bro. Like he'll start.
I got some breaking news. It's actually a question.
Oh God, here he goes. All right, something sarcastic.
It's not sarcastic, bro. It's just very important information. Like you can't just like poo it off to the side.
Okay.
What is that behind you over there in the corner?
That right there?
Treadmill?
Yeah, I treadmill.
Why is it there? What are you doing with it? You trying to like make shade or something? Or like, what is that?
Nah, I use it.
For what? Use it for what?
To lose weight.
Oh, the lies.
Oh,
you mean to tell me you've actually been on that treadmill?
Not have I been on the treadmill, Squeeze.
Lies.
I put the treadmill together.
I have news.
I have physical evidence of me putting it together and being on it. Yes.
Report. Yeah. We need fact checkers.
Nah, man. Like, look.
Lying to the nation, ladies and gentlemen. They lying to the nation.
Because I haven't been home and I've been out here, we had a.
Man, listen. I've never seen a treadmill around you before in my life. As long as I've known you. This is the first time I've seen a treadmill. It took an hour for me to build up the nerve and courage to ask you if that was a treadmill behind you.
Okay,
I've been looking at it ever since we started.
First of all,
I cannot believe it. Do you understand me?
First of all, we know that's a lie because you've never built up the courage to ask me anything. You just freaking say it like what the hell is that? What are you doing? They ain't never had to build no courage up.
Hey man, are you using that? Are you using that?
Seriously. Yeah, seriously. On that and on the elliptical too.
What? Wait a minute. Time out. Rewind. Oh my goodness. Man got a regular gym in the bedroom. I can't believe it. I can't believe I'm
bro,
proud. I'm
bro.
touched.
I
I'm
told you.
touched.
I told you. Like I'm trying to
I'm
lose the
touched.
stomach.
I can't believe this, bro. You've made my day.
I'm
You've made my
glad,
day. I'm a
bro. I'm
happy
glad.
man. I'm a happy. I'm not gonna be able to watch the Lakers, the Golden Knights. I don't care. I'm like you now. I don't care about sports. I see a treadmill and an elliptical in the room, in the bedroom of my man Joe Arrigo. Hey, we about to do something now, baby.
Yeah. Hey, hey,
Hooray!
hey. I'm gonna be real. One of the things that I actually like, this came across my mind the other day, on Monday, and I don't know why I thought about it. I thought about your cousin Brian, and I thought about when all the cousins came out, and we went to the Flamingo pool party with Super James, and just what a good time. And honestly, I felt a little insecure. I never feel insecure about things. I look at you and man.
Oh, me and Man was on that day. Yeah, we was on that day, boy.
I was like, yeah, let me keep my shirt on. I'm gonna sit here and just drink my drink, keep my shirt on, and stand next to Super James. Like, hey, at least
Hey man, that dude, Man swole though, bro. That
Yeah,
dude
he
like
is.
that's a Hulk Hogan type. That dude swole for real. He on some different
Yeah,
type swole.
his muscles got muscles, and they got muscles.
Real
Oh
talk.
man, but
Man,
yo,
man, it seemed like that was forever ago, bro. Like, damn, is it gonna go back? Can we
it was
go and
just,
pack a pool party and just get damn wasted again? I
bro,
can't
and
wait.
me either. And that
Man,
was that was not. It was just about a year. It was a little over the year ago. It was
a
like,
little over a year ago, dog. Look at all that's happened since then.
I know,
But
and
I tell you one thing, Mac got his new kidney
yes,
and he's doing fine. Been waiting for 17 years. So praise God for that. He doing good.
yep.
Once this virus get out of here, man, listen, we gonna party. Woo! Boy, we gonna party. Trust me. Trust me. You cut out again there, buddy. I'm sick of your internet. I absolutely hate it. It's terrible. You need to get your money back as soon as possible. Literally call Cox or Infinity or whoever and just cuss. Don't even tell them what you're calling for. Just start cussing as soon as they answer the phone. Are you stuck for good? Yeah, I think he's done. Yep. The boy is out of here, ladies and gents, and I'm about to get out of here too. So I do want to say this though before we leave. You had something to say, bruh?
Yeah, let's arrest the killers of Breonna Taylor.
Absolutely. Thank you. I'm glad he didn't say any more than that because we're all sick of his internet. I'm going to
Me
take us
too.
on out of here. You feel me? Listen, it's a lot going on right now, right? There is a lot going on right now. I know we took the podcast, somewhat off sports and went all into all of this other stuff. Y'all forgive us. It's a lot going on right now. We need to get things off of our chest. We did it. We're done with it. We going back to sports news after this. But I will say this. If you have black friends, if you have black sons, you have a black father, understand how tough it is right now on black people to continue to watch what we saw happen in Milwaukee. We don't like any of it. We don't like to burn property. We don't like to be destructive. We don't like. It is a situation where we are trying to figure out the best way to deal with the hate that is shown our way. And we have to talk about it, if nothing else. So bear with us. Allow us that because we're humans. Hopefully it'll blow over soon and we could get back to sports and our everyday lives. But we ask for the prayers for the families of all of these people who have dealt with the losses that they've dealt with in the last week. Because when this happens, it happens in a multitude of ways to a multitude of people. There are cops on that police department that would have never handled this situation the way that that particular cop handled it, and the vitriol that's headed to them is blanketed. And it's the same thing the other way around when, you know, a person of another race looks at me walking down the street and feels like I'm a threat. There's a conversation that needs to be had. There's a meeting in the middle that needs to be had. Watch the leagues, watch the teams. That's where the real leadership is coming from, because that's where the conversation is coming from. What is supposed to be our leadership is just a big argument that's not going anywhere. So what we as citizens need to do is listen to that for what it is. That's talk. Let's be about action. We love y'all. We thank y'all for all the support. Thank y'all for watching us today. Join the franchise, home for Las Vegas sports. Watch us on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, at the franchise LV. I'm your TQ, and that's Joe. Are you stuck?
No, I'm not stuck.
He's live, boys and girls. We'll catch y'all on the next one.